Hi guys, welcome back to LPB Racing for the LPB WEC Replica Championship on GT Sport. This is round 4 of the championship. This is our special event at SHAREfactory C, so it's one of the original Gran Turismo tracks. And we're getting ready for a start. This is a double points race, these two races. So let's see how things go. Obviously, let's go through the grid first. So we've got TY on pole position for the LMP1, so a good pole there from TY. Callum second on the grid from Bidzster, obviously running the soft tyre. Neil Farmack fourth in the Toyota on the mediums, and then Jamo in fifth, soft tyres, and then Task 1 in sixth on the mediums. And then in GTE, it is Techno on the hard tyres who gets pole position. So Rodders in second, Seek in third place on the grid in that one, in the mediums. So is Stacker on the mediums as well, and then Firepower on the softs at the back of the grid. So we're getting ready for a start now. Let's see how things go in this race. So lights are coming on the tree on the bridge. Ready for a start. Off we go. And it's a decent start by everyone, I think, as we head down towards turn 1. There goes the LMP1 boys. We've got Callum and Bidzster side by side. Bidzster gets into second. Callum with a bit more of a worse start. Neil Farmack behind as well, looking for any opportunity. Looking at the inside of Callum into the first turn. Just about holds on to it, I think, because then we look at the GTE boys. Stacker with a good start into 8th place. Good start from Stack. Brilliant start. Techno's gone backwards in the Porsche, obviously on the hard tyres, less grip. Down to turn 3 then. Into turn 3 we go. Callum is back into 3rd place ahead of Neil, so the Audis... Oh, Neil hits the wall. Neil hits the wall, he's getting passed by one car, maybe two. Jamo doesn't quite get through. As the GT boys come into the hairpin now, Stacker's gone, Stacker's still up there, but he's been passed by Seek, and now he's got Techno behind him. As we go back to this lot, Neil Farmack, Task 1 and Jamo, all three close together, battling to and fro into this complex section, into the two left-handers. Neil takes 5th, Jamo tries to go wide, but he goes wide off the track. So Jamo making a mistake there. As we've got Rodders in a massive lead in GTE already. Seek 1 in 2nd place, Stacker 3rd, Techno 4th on the hard tyres, remember, so that could be a worthy strategy to watch as the race goes on. As we look at the LMP1 boys, TY, Bidzster, the two teammates. Obviously Bidzster running a special event livery this time. TY running a sort of special event livery, but keeping it a bit more traditional. As Callum then behind, obviously not bothering to run a special event livery, just keeping with the normal livery. As we go out of that corner, Neil Farmack again, normal livery. So a few people have opted for it, but not everyone. So Neil Farmack ahead of Task 1, and then Jamo closing back up. TY, Bidzster and Callum still close together as well. The two Audis behind each other now. So probably helping each other down the straight here. A little bump draft. Just help each other trying to get away from Callum. Down towards the hairpin. Let's just have a look at the other boys. So there's Task 1 and Jamo, and then we've got Rodders, Seek 1, and Techno's in the wall. Techno's in the wall. Stacker goes through. Firepower goes through as well. As we look back to the LMP1 boys, Bidzster takes the lead from his teammate then. So wanting to take the lead in the LMP1 class and try and do what he can. Meanwhile, Neil Farmack and Task 1. Task 1 up the inside of Neil Farmack. Good move there, but Task 1's going right round the outside. I'm not giving up yet, Sunshine. Just side by side through this section. This is brave. Reminds me of the old classic Spa. Oh, Neil Farmack starts grass cutting. Jamo goes up the inside. God, do you think this were a sprint race? Neil Farmack takes 4th. Task 1 down to 5th. Jamo in 6th. TY and Callum very close together as well. They're battling towards the last corner also. TY takes 2nd place as we look at Neil Farmack and Task 1 and Jamo. They're not done yet. Jamo looks at the inside. Task 1 gives him space, but he's going to run wide as a consequence. Jamo gets close. Looks to the outside. Oh, Task 1 giving him the squeeze. Oh, wow, hip and shoulder. Task 1 maintains 5th with the Audi's top end speed. Down towards the second corner technically, because we've been through the first corner kink and all nicely through there. Meanwhile, it's still Bidzster from Callum. Oh, Callum's in front of TY now. Callum's past TY, so Callum into 2nd place. Meanwhile, in GTE, Rodders with a massive lead in the Aston Martin in the Tampax Jorex sponsored car this time, with flaunted a bit of pink there. And then Seek 1 and Stacker running the Porsche Le Mans liveries from this season, from this last year in 2018. In the Pink Pig, seat 1. Then Firepower in the second Tampax car, then Techno in his own colours, Stacker in the Rothmans Porsche. So the Marlboro team going classic Porsche here, running the Rothmans and the Pink Pig liveries. As Techno outbrakes himself on the hard tyres, but just about recovers it. Meanwhile, Bidzster with a good lead here. Well, a decent lead, it's not big, it's enough though for now, just to keep Callum off. Callum from TY. Now we've got Neil Farmack kicking up the dust. Jamo has passed Task 1. So Task 1 goes backwards here. Jamo passes him. I think Jamo could be quite a big threat here because that Porsche is really good at saving the hybrid energy, and that could really help with that out of the corners on this one. It's just the type of track. So we'll see what happens here with Jamo. So watch this space. There's TY right behind Callum now, but again, I've got a feeling that these top 3 are going to be trying to save as much fuel as they can for these, maybe the first couple of laps, and then they'll start going for it. Whereas the GTE cars have really got to watch the fuel here, because it does drink fuel, these cars on this track, especially with the settings that we've got it on. Firepower in a good 3rd in class, Techno in 4th, Stacker 5th, but his thing is Stacker might be 5th, but he's not as far back as he has been this season. He's keeping with the pack, and Techno runs onto the gravel there, but recovers quite well. As we look at Bidzster, Callum, TY, all down the straight. Remember, Bidzster and TY teammates here, they don't look like it, but they are. So Bidzster running a special event livery that TY made for him, so looks very nice. The flames, the magma flame on that car. Callum with the traditional yellow and silver Audi colours from the early 2000s, and then TY in the art car, but obviously with a slightly different sponsorship this time, and I think it is a Minion Banana, so with a little bit of a white trim at the front. There's Neil Farmack and Jamo still quite close together here. We're going to watch and see what strategies people might do in this one. Pit window is in between 6 and 8 in this race, so got a while to go for the pit window. There's one. Neil Farmack goes a bit wide there, but gets away with it. He's going to the straight. Jamo in the draft. Closing up on Neil Farmack. Will he go for a move into the first kink, or even the second corner? So through the first corner kink into the second corner. Jamo brakes behind him, but doesn't go for the move yet. Meanwhile, GTE Rodder's still with a good lead. Seat 1 second. Firepower under pressure now from Techno and Stacker. So they're both closing up as well. Techno closes in on the brakes on Firepower. Oh, slides out Techno. Proper tank slapper there. Woohoo! Close as you like. Meanwhile, up front, Bidzster being pressured by Callum. Callum closing up. Bidzster can't quite get away. Both very equal on fuel as well. TY saved a little bit more, but I don't think these LMP ones will have to worry about fuel too much. They'll both be on absolutely flat out mode here, and Jamo closing up to these boys as well, so looks like they are saving fuel a little bit, these top runners. Whereas Jamo's used a lot more fuel there, but hopefully the hybrid power will compensate for that as well. As we go out the corner, Jamo gets a good run on TY here. Will he go for a move on the inside? No, not yet. Thinks about it in the DeWalt Porsche. Doesn't go for it. Meanwhile, in the Haas Toyota, it's Neil Farmack in 5th place. Task 1 in the second of the Team AC Motorsport cars, which is the Andy and Callum Motorsport, because Task 1's name is Andy and Callum's name is Callum, so AC Motorsport. As we look back, Jamo then challenging TY for 3rd place, goes ahead. Clearly these boys at the front are fuel saving, because Neil Farmack's closing up as well, and Task. So these boys at the front fuel saving to try and go a bit further on in the pit window, obviously, and try and see if they can have a shorter lasting. So we'll see what happens here with all these boys. Jamo closes up on Callum then. And look at the closing speed that Jamo's got. He's already going past us. Look at that. Straight past. And Jamo now is going to even challenge Bidzster for the lead here. I don't think Bidzster will be too bothered, because he'll want to try and save fuel here. Unless he's turned up the wick. Yeah, Bidzster's turned up the wick. He's not letting him go through. He's going to try not to let him go through if he can. But he does. Jamo takes the lead then. So clearly different strategies in force here. But look how much hybrid that Porsche saves compared to the Audi. Straight on the power. Go, go, go. Brilliant race this so far. through the tight twisty section then. Reminds me of the old Spa back in the day. As Bidzster almost hits the back of Jamo. That's how close he wants to run to try and save fuel. And apply pressure, obviously. Into the second to last corner. Jamo goes a bit wide. Bidzster catches up. Callum looks for a way around Bidzster as well. No way through there. TY drop back behind Neil Farmack now as well. Neil Farmack into fourth. Oh, Neil Farmack was in fourth. Goes wide and then gives it back to TY on a silver platter. So Task 1 now closing up behind Neil. As we look at Callum, Bidzster and Jamo up front. I would imagine now Jamo will be setting the pace and these boys behind will just stick with Jamo and try and save fuel at the same time. So Jamo has got to really try and open up a gap if he wants to try and beat these boys because of the fuel usage. Because look, Jamo's just over half a tank. These boys are all closer to 3/4 than they are half. So let's see how things go here as Neil Farmack still holds off Task 1. Meanwhile in GTE, Rod is in the lead by a country mile from Seat 1, who is yet again a country mile away from Techno. And Techno's pulled the gap on Stacker, who's now ahead of Firepower. So Firepower goes back to 11th place here. But look, half a tank of fuel compared to just over half for the Porsche. The Porsche saving a lot more fuel here than the others. As we go back to the LP1 boys, Jamo in the lead then, trying to make a gap. Obviously absolutely flooring it, going for it. Bidzster and Callum further back. TY with Neil behind him now, but again, look at the fuel usage, guys. You look at the fuel counter as we go through these cars. Look, there's Jamo, watch the fuel gauge, we go back to Bidzster, he's got a lot more fuel, and then Callum about the same as Bidzster, and then watch the TY, he's saved a lot more, he's on 3/4 of a tank, and then Neil has used a lot there as well, and then Task 1's used probably the most, he's on half a tank. So, different strategies here, could see a lot of different outcomes. So as we look at Jamo then, coming up and over the top, Bidzster closing up now, so Bidzster clearly now feels like he's saved enough fuel and he's now pushing. So we'll see what happens here for these boys as we look back at Stacker and Firepower, who are still quite close on track, coming down towards the last corner. Into the last corner, Stacker there goes in, nice line through there. Firepower a lot more of an aggressive line through there, carries a lot more speed. So Firepower looks like he's pushing a bit more now after saving a bit of fuel. There's Jamo out front then in the DeWalt Porsche, doing a very good job so far. Bidzster in second, Callum is in third, and we've got TY further back with Neil Farmack and Task 1. Let's have a look at them. Neil Farmack and Task 1 quite close together as well. It's the hairpin at the bottom. Hill. Let's have a look at the front end. Jamo still with a decent gap. Bidzster still trying to push hard, but again, is Callum going with him now? Yes, Callum's going with him now. Callum's used a bit more fuel, so Callum is trying to stick with the pack now. As we look at Neil Farmack and Task 1 and TY, all still very close. Task 1 close up to the back of Neil, but again, Neil will get a good run out that corner, so does Task. All very close. As we look at Stacker and Firepower, they're quite close on track now. So the was Jurek sponsored Aston Martin, now sponsored by Tampax for this one, just for the laugh. He's now right behind the Rothmans Porsche of Stacker, whose teammate the Pink Pig is in second place. Seat 1 being the Pink Pig this time. So into the bridge. Again, let's look at the LMP1 boys. It looks like they're pretty close as well. Neil Farmack under attack from Task 1, but still no way through yet. Into the hairpin, let's have a look into the hairpin. Task 1 not close enough to yet mount a challenge, but still keeping the pressure on there. As we look to Callum and Bidzster, they definitely use a lot more fuel now, so they're definitely pushing on now. Obviously the pit window will open the next lap, so the end of the next lap will be the first pit stops. And there's only 3 laps to do it. So we'll see what happens here for people as Bidzster sets the fastest first sector. So definitely turning the wick up now, Bidzster, and Callum is following him. Look at TY. Task 1 is ahead of Neil. Neil must have gone off somewhere, but Neil fights back as Task 1 makes a mistake. So Neil goes back through. So Neil goes back through the 5th. TY still in a solid 4th, but again, I think TY's holding back a bit here. Oh, he was holding back until he hit the wall. So Neil Farmack and Task One still quite close, but no cigar yet for them. Meanwhile, Jamo onto the bridge, followed by Bidzster and Callum, who are still trying to stick with him, but he looks like he's got some decent pace here, Jamo. Let's have a look at this second sector, when we go onto the back straight, sorry, the third sector. It will tell us a lot of what we need to know, pace-wise. Let's have a look at Neil and Task into this next corner though. Neil Farmack was a touch wide, Task One closes up, but no way through yet. Let's watch the sector then. Bidzster goes personal best, Callum goes personal best. So they're all catching up now. Rodders is in the pits early for GTE as well. Rodders is in the pits early, that's a couple laps before the pit window. So clearly Rodders 2 stopping here. As we go back up front, Bidzster behind Jamo. Obviously went right behind him, decided to save a little bit more fuel and then go for it, so we'll see what happens here. As we go out of that corner onto the back, up the hill. Neil Farmack and Task One still close, but Task One still can't find a way past Neil. As we look back in GTE then, Seek One is in the lead of GTE, Techno second, Rodders in third after making a pit stop though, so Rodders clearly pushing hard for a 2-stop race here. Stacker in 4th in class, he's still going round strong, and Firepower is he'll probably have to pit at the end of this lap because he's not got the fuel, so he might have to 2-stop as well. As Bidzster, Jamo and Callum all very close together here, down the straight. Brilliant stuff this. As we look at Neil Farmack, he's ahead of Task One, and TY's gone back down to 6th. TY makes a mistake, we'll get a replay. Here's a replay of how TY went back down from 4th to 6th on lap 5, so going up to the top of the hill, second to last corner. Up and over the top, too much speed, bang! Hits that bit of wall that sticks out. Luckily he went back towards the wall and didn't go back across in front of Neil and Task, but then that's how he went back down to 6th place. As we come back from that, Jamo in the lead, still just from Bidzster, but look at the fuel. Bidzster saved a lot more fuel than Jamo, so we'll have to see what the difference is in the pit stops are going to be, because the pit window is now open for LPB1. So they've got the end of this lap and 2 more to do the pit stops. Once they start lap 9, the pit window will close. There's Neil Farmack and Task One still close together. Obviously TY falling further back as what we saw earlier. Let's have a look at GTE. That's the LP1. Let's have a look at where's Callum gone? Is Callum dropped back? He must have made a mistake, so Callum drops back a little bit. Let's look at Rodders, he's just past Techno on those fresh tyres, so Techno really struggling on them hard tyres, and even though he's got less fuel, the hard tyres, really, he shouldn't be on them really, because they've not got the pace compared to the soft and the mediums. So not helping himself out here, Techno, but Stacker in 10th, Firepower in 11th, but Firepower will probably be in the pits at the end of this lap, because look at the fuel gauge. Really low on fuel, so he'll have to pit this lap and then probably on the end of the pit window as well. And we've now got the LMP1 boys about to lap the traffic, so this is where things could change here. Jamo personal best, and the session best. Second sector of the race, so we'll see what happens here. Around that corner, Bidzster gets around Firepower nice and neatly. Callum's going to have to just time this one very well here, he just about does so. Onto the back straight. Jamo gets round Stacker, Bidzster now behind Stacker, using all the draft he possibly can, then pulls out. And then down the straight we go, down to the hairpin at the bottom. Next 2 cars that they're going to come up on is Techno and Rodders. So we'll see how the front runners get through this as we look at Jamo then. Powering out the corner in that Porsche. Look at all the hybrid energy he's got to use. But again, Jamo will probably be in this lap or the next one, so he'll not have enough fuel to do another 3 laps at the end of the pit window. So we'll see what happens. We close up to the traffic then. You can hear the GT cars ahead. There he is, there's Techno, and Jamo comes up to go past him. Can't compromise the GT's lines as, Jamo sneakily gets through. Bidzster has to wait behind Techno. Jamo gets ahead of himself, makes a mistake, and now Bidzster goes to the inside of Jamo and takes them both. So Bidzster takes the lead then. Oh, but he doesn't, he goes wide. Jamo goes back through. Will Jamo go around another lap? Yes, he is. He's going around another lap. So Bidzster now with behind Jamo again. Callum in third. Neil Farmack and Task One trying to dispose of Stacker here and fight with each other at the same time. Really close stuff. So into this next corner, TY's in the pits. TY's in the pits. So TY's coming early. He's coming on the start of the pit window. So we'll see if this works out for TY. Jamo in the lead then from Bidzster. Callum's got to get past Rodders before this next corner now, but he's going to have to wait behind. He's not going to get round. He's going to have to wait behind Rodders. Oh, Rodders makes a mistake. Rodders goes off into the wall anyway. So there was no contact there. Rodders just makes his own mistake. There's Rodders and there's Techno. So where's Seat 1? He's further ahead. He's not made his pit stop yet. So remember, Rodders already made one pit stop, but remember that was not in the pit window, so he's got to pit again. So Rodders trying to count on a two-stop strategy and a faster pace. So there's Jamo and Bidzster. They're catching up to Seat 1 now, is in the lead. Neil Farmack and Task 1 now have got to get past Rodders. They should be able to do it on this straight with ease. There they go, straight through, one each side. Oh, Task 1 getting in the way of the GT car's line again. Should have really gone on the inside there, but luckily no harm done, as TY then in 6th place comes out after doing his mandatory pit stop. Full tank of fuel, probably going to the end now. There's Jamo then from Bidzster, still no change up front. Jamo still holds the lead from Bidzster. Bidzster trying to catch up over the curb and onto the bridge. We're going to catch Seat 1 here. Seat 1. There he is in the pink pig. Jamo gets through, and then Bidzster's going to have to wait behind here. Let's go on board with Seat 1 look from behind. And there goes Bidzster going through on the left. There he goes. So as we come back out of that camera view, Seat 1 goes around that corner. Callum's going to be behind him now. There he is onto the back straight. Callum gets straight through. No time lost there. Neil Farmack comes onto the straight as well from Task 1. TY in 6th. Meanwhile, Seat 1 still leads the GTE class from Rodders, who remember has already made one pit stop, but he's got to make his mandatory one. Techno on very low fuel here, so he's going to have to really fuel manage to get to the end of this lap. So Techno just about holding on with fuel. Same with Stacker, he's only just going to make it round on fuel as well. Firepower, meanwhile, like Rodders, is already pitted, but obviously he's got to do his mandatory one still. So here's Jamo then. Let's see if any of the top runners pit this lap. I would imagine Jamo will have to, because look at the fuel. Jamo's going to have to pit this lap. He's pushing hard for an in-lap here. Pushing as hard as he can. It's going to be a longer stop because he's got to put more fuel in. But he's going to be going for a really good pace here. Bidzster might go round again with Callum, because they've definitely got the fuel too. So Jamo comes round. Yes, Jamo is into the pits for his pit stop. Mandatory pit stop time for Jamo, and he's got the tyres out, so that's good. So Bidzster goes round and Callum, so they will have to pit at the end of this lap. They're going to push hard this lap, put all the power down they can. Jamo's in the pits changing his tyres. Neil Farmack's in as well in the Toyota, followed by Task 1. TY is going to might come round and take these positions, so we'll have to see what happens here with the fuel and everything. So there goes Bidzster. Let's watch the GTE battle then. So Seat 1's in for his mandatory pit on lap 6 as well. Rodders will probably go round because he pitted earlier on doing a 2-stop, so Rodders will probably go to the end of lap 8. Meanwhile, the LMP1 boys are coming out to Bidzster, and Callum go round. Jamo's out the pits. TY goes through. He passes Neil Farmack and Task 1. Neil Farmack's just coming out of the pits now. Task 1 just coming out of the pits now. So it's Jamo in 3rd. TY gets ahead of Neil and Task 1 there. So he's jumped them too. There's Jamo there. Let's have a look at Bidzster and Callum. They're pushing hard now. Look at the fuel. Fuel's going down like no tomorrow. They're pushing hard on this in-lap. They need to make everything count. Meanwhile, GTE Rodders there gets passed by Neil Farmack into the next hairpin. Stacker and Techno then are in for their mandatory pit stops. Seat 1's obviously just come out of the pits in his. So it's just in GT now, it's just Firepower and Rodders in the 2 Aston Martins that have got to make their mandatory pit stops. They have not made their mandatory pit stops yet. So we'll have to see when they're going to pit. I would imagine it would be the end of lap 8 at the end of the pit window, just to try and last it to the end. As Bidzster goes onto the bridge, and then at the end of the bridge with Callum right behind him, both following each other in tow, trying to get as much pace as they can out of the car to try and trump Jamo. But we'll have to see what they can do here. They go around that corner onto the straight. Meanwhile, Jamo there with TY behind him, so TY's closer to Jamo than he was before, but obviously remember TY pitted a bit earlier, so he will have to save a bit more fuel, but I would imagine he'd get behind the draft of Jamo, follow Jamo's pace and then save fuel, so we'll see what happens here for TY. Neil Farmack in 5th, Tass 1 6th, so let's look at Bidzster and Callum then. Bidzster goes a bit wide there but gets away with it, clearly trying to push really hard with the braking zones. He's now onto red fuel. So both in this lap. Bidzster's pit stop will be a bit longer because of the fuel. Callum's got to put less fuel in. And he's actually been kinder on his tyres as well, Callum, so it shows you how hard Bidzster's been trying to push to get this gap, but Callum not having to push as hard and stay with him. Up and over the top. And down the bottom. These two will be in the pits this time, both pushing hard on the in-lap. So here they come then. Callum closes right up behind Bidzster at that corner, so both going in the pits simultaneously into the pits, but look, Bidzster's got to put another 12 litres of fuel in compared to Callum, so we'll see how that goes as Jamo then comes round with TY into the wall. TY makes a mistake into the wall. Not good there from TY. That's rare error, but that's going to lose him a lot of time. Neil Farmack will be rubbing his hands together now thinking, haha, I have a chance. So meanwhile, Bidzster and Callum still fueling up. Callum's got 62 litres of fuel. He thinks he can get to the end on 62. Bidzster's still filling up. He's filling up all the way. Obviously, Bidzster wants to push the whole way to the end. No fuel saving. So Callum's out in the lead. Jamo in 2nd. Bidzster in 3rd. Bidzster's in 3rd. But remember, he's got a full tank of fuel and he can go straight to the end, push all the way. But I do think he's put a bit too much in. But we'll see what happens towards the end. Not even Jamo's put a full tank in. So Callum has just over half a tank to get to the end, so we'll see if that can work for him. Jamo on just under 3/4. Remember, they've been round again. So Bidzster with TY behind him after TY made that error. So after the pit window then, with the LMP1s, it is Callum in the lead from Jamo. Bidzster in 3rd, followed by his teammate TY. And then we've got Neil Farmack in 5th, followed by Tass 1 in 6th place, just struggling with pace at the minute. Meanwhile in GTE, Rodders has got to pit at the end of this lap, and so has Firepower. When he gets to this next lap, there's seat 1, so I would imagine when Rodders comes in, seat 1 will inherit the lead. That's because seat 1's had some good pace in this one. Techno there in 9th place in class. He's going round again, obviously because they've pitted. Still Stacker, he's pitted on the correct lap as well. But Firepower has got to go. Once he goes round again this time, he will have to pit at the end of this next lap. So this lap that he's on now, he will have to pit this time round because he did a pit stop before the pit window. So him and Rodders, the two Jorex Aston Martins, clearly not as good on fuel. So they're just going to try and do a 2-stop race. Meanwhile, Callum up front then from Jamo, but look, Callum, half a tank of fuel, so he's going to have to do a lot of fuel saving. Hopefully might be able to time this right, but we'll have to see. Jamo in 2nd, Bidzster in 3rd, but he can push hard all race now, hugging the wall on the inside. So he doesn't have to worry about fuel. TY has to worry about fuel a little bit. So does Neil Farmack and Tass 1. Look back at the GTE boys then. So it's Stacker from Firepower, still very close. Firepower a lot lighter on fuel, but remember he's got to pit again, so I would imagine Stacker can stay ahead. So we'll see as Firepower goes into that next corner. Whoa, close stuff. We're not quite close enough yet. As we look back to TY following Bidzster then, the two teammates, the two ARC cars running together. It's not going away from TY as quick as I thought, really, because obviously I know he's got more fuel in and he'll not have to save any fuel towards the end, but we'll see how it goes. They come out in the last corner. TY again runs wide. Mistakes from TY, so TY not on form today. Usually a lot cleaner than this TY, even though he just does the fastest lap of the race. But that was a bit of a shortcut in it. But we'll see if that stays. Into the sort of first proper corner then. As TY makes a little mistake on the way out again. So TY really struggling with this Audi. Can't find a balance that works for him. while Firepower right behind Stacker. Let's check his teammate Rodders. He's coming up to the last sector. Remember, he's got to pit this lap. He's going to have to put fuel in as well to get to the end, so Seat 1 will probably inherit the lead. As Rodders makes a little mistake there, which doesn't help his cause. As Stacker and Firepower then together. Rothman's Porsche versus Tampac's Aston Martin. I think I know which one of those sponsors I prefer. It depends on what mood I'm in. Just joking, it's definitely Rothman's. So yeah, Rothman's Porsche ahead of the Tampac's Aston Martin. So these guys really trying to embarrass me when it comes to the commentaries with the sponsorship. But not got to me yet, guys, not got to me yet. As Rodders is in the pits then, so Seat 1 goes across the line to take the lead. Rodders into the pits for his mandatory pit stop then. Tyre change and fuel. There he is, tyres being changed. And the fuel goes in. Oh, it's going to be quite a long stop with the fuel. So Techno is going to close up, but I don't think Techno will get through. Stacker there, 10th. Firepower's got to pit at the end of this lap for his mandatory pit stop as well. So let's watch, see where Rodders comes out. There he is, still putting fuel in. He's just been released now. Techno goes out the last corner. So Rodders is in second place in class still. There's Neil Farmax off. Neil Farmax off. I thought I saw the name move or an icon move. So Neil Farmax gone off. We'll get a replay. Okay, here's a replay. What happened to Neil Farmax on lap 10? So he comes down the hill and then I think he just leaves his braking point too late, runs wide and can't get the car turned in, and then there's the wall waiting for him and a photographer just to take his picture at the right moment. Then he spun round, spins the car back, whoa, right round in the middle of the road, and then can't actually get going again. And then eventually we try and get going, we do a bit of rallycross, and then we find the road. As we come back from that then, Callum with a country mile lead over Jamo. But remember, Callum has got to save a lot of fuel in these last 3 laps. He's got to save a lot. He's just under half a tank for 3 laps. And then with the fuel wear ratio that we've got on, that's going to be a very tight indeed. So Jamo in second place, Bidzster trying to catch up. TY trying to stick with him but can't quite do it. Bidzster in third, still pushing hard through this section. Jamo still pushing hard as well. So they've both got a decent amount of fuel on board to get to the end. As Bidzster goes up and over, and Jamo up and over the top into the apex. Very nice line there from Jamo, and Bidzster again with a good line. Let's have a look at TY's version. A lot more to the inside. And TY's driving like Bidzster usually does. It's a lot more aggressive. Whereas Bidzster being quite clean. So the two teammates have clearly swapped personalities in this one. Bidzster does a nice lap there. It's Callum with the fastest lap though, 2:56.1. So clearly Callum pushing hard for a few laps, and then he's going to really have to fuel save for a few as well. There's Jamo, Bidzster, TY into the wall again. Not the tidiest race from TY in this one, but a bit strange. But there's Task 1 ahead of Neil Farmack after that mistake that Neil Farmack made earlier. There he is in the Toyota. Again, Nick Ash not being able to make it, so unfortunately not many points in the team's championship for N&N Racing. There's Seat 1 then in the lead in GTE, and their pit window is now closed, so the official order in GTE is Seat 1 in the lead. In the was the Porsche Marlboro team, but it's the Pink Pig this time. Rodders in the Team Jorex car, which is now Tampax for this special event, in second place. Techno in his own black and white colours in 9th place, or 3rd place overall in the class. And then Stacker in 10th place overall and 4th in class in the Rothman's Porsche. And then Firepower, after making his mandatory pit stop, down in 11th. Obviously he's quite a way behind Stacker now, so Firepower not having a good race in this one, unfortunately. As the front runners then are lapping cars now, so Jamo comes up behind Firepower to lap him, and out the corner, and then nicely gets round on the outside. Firepower gives him a little bit of space just to help out as well. You don't have to, but it's always appreciated when they do. And Bidzster just goes round Firepower nice and neatly on the straight, and nicely done. And then TY's turn to catch up to Firepower. He might be getting it. He'll probably end up past him on the straight, which will be handy. Task 1 goes through there, Neil Farmack. So a little bit more spread out now in this race, guys, but again, it's not over until the checkered flag flies, and Callum hasn't got much fuel at all to get to the checkered flag. He's got a quarter of a tank to try and do another two full laps with, which on the ratio we've got, again, like I said earlier, it's going to be very tight on fuel. There's Jamo with Bidzster catching up to him, so Bidzster definitely catching up to Jamo now, putting the pace in. Obviously with no fuel, with lots of fuel in that car, he doesn't have to worry about fuel saving towards the end of the race. He can just push like every lap's a qualifying lap to the end of this race, because the tyres won't be a problem as well. As TY has passed Firepower now. Next is Task 1, but he'll probably not get to Firepower until the next lap. There's Rodders, he's coming around the first corner. There's Seat 1 coming out the third corner, so Seat 1 with a big lead here. It's a good 10-11 second lead at least over Rodders, maybe even 15 seconds. So Seat 1 showing them all how it's done in Division 2. And then Rodders a well-deserved second so far. Techno a decent third. He's onto the medium tyres now, ditched the hards. But still, I still think he's going to the tyre compound is one step too high. Still think if Techno did use the soft tyres in one race, it would really benefit him, but we'll see what happens later on. So Callum then in the lead, he's just lap stack, and TY's in for a second pit stop. TY's in for a second pit stop, splash and dash, so clearly not feeling like he's got enough fuel to get to the end. And Callum's got a lot less than that, so a little splash and dash for TY, and straight out of the pits. So clearly TY wants that fastest lap or something, he wants to try and push towards the end. Meanwhile, Jamo and Bidzster then really close. Callum's just ahead, he's around that next corner. He's still fuel saving. So Jamo and Bidzster catching up to Callum now. Not long left in this race, but still, is it going to be too long for Callum, who's under a quarter of a tank? He's almost at an eighth of a tank to get round a lap and a half. So this is going to be very close, whereas look at Jamo and Bidzster, they're well above a quarter of a tank, so they can definitely push hard for the rest of this race. So this is not over yet. As Jamo goes into that next corner, a little bit wide, makes a mistake, and Bidzster goes through. Jamo makes a mistake, and Bidzster goes through there. So Jamo pushing a bit too hard, and Bidzster goes through into second place. Jamo falls down to third. So clearly Jamo pushing a bit too hard, but still, it's not over yet. Again, if you can stick with Bidzster and stick with Bidzster's pace, he might catch up to Callum. Because Callum, look, he's on the straight, but look, he's having to proper fuel save. Look, listen to the short shifting in that car. Should have put a bit more fuel in, I think, maybe another couple of seconds worth of fuel in the pit stop, and he won't have to be doing this. But we'll see if it's going to be enough at the end of the race. If they go onto the back straight, push, Jamo, push, he's pushing the walls, creating sparks. What a show. As TY from Task 1 on the move here now. Task 1 putting some good pace in. Neil Farmack a bit further back, he's just lapping the Aston Martin of Firepower, who's unfortunately last in this race. Let's look at Callum then. He's got this fuel save and he's approaching traffic, so this Techno will be helping him out here, because he'll be able to save fuel behind Techno in the draft. Now he's got to try and pass him up the hill. As Techno runs a bit wide, Callum stays to the inside and just squirts past on hybrid power. Jamo and Bidzster still close together, and Jamo gets back past Bidzster, so Bidzster clearly must have made a mistake somewhere, because Jamo got through. As Jamo gets past Techno, so does Bidzster. Techno just thinking, right, I'm just going to keep out of the way, because these boys look ridiculously fast through here. As we go on to this next section, Bidzster must have made a mistake for Jamo to get through, but still, we've got to follow Jamo now. As we start the last lap of the race, Callum's got an eighth of a tank to do one lap, so it's going to be very close. Jamo, quarter of a tank. Bidzster's got too much fuel in that car, he could have put a lot less fuel in. Bidzster should have put maybe a couple of seconds less fuel in. So Callum and Bidzster going two extremes. Jamo's got the perfect blend here, just enough fuel to finish the race, as we're on the final lap of the race now. Last lap. Callum's got to hold on, he's got Rodders in front of him, he'll try and take all the draft he can to save some fuel and gain some speed. Rodders, will that be a problem for Jamo and Bidzster here? Because they're going to catch him at the wrong moment, I think. Into the hairpin, they might just be able to squirt past him on the edge of this corner. It's going to be close, as Bidzster gets rid of a little bit of a penalty there. Into the next corner, Jamo gets around the outside of Rodders before the next corner. Bidzster has to wait. Again, Jamo trumping him with the traffic. Then Bidzster gets round out the corner, but he's lost a little bit of time there to Jamo, maybe half a second. Callum then. I know we're focused on this battle a lot, ladies and gentlemen, but it's the closest one on track at the minute. As we go down to the next corner, Jamo then following Callum, pushing. Callum's already in the red on fuel, so he's got to be really careful. Into into this next corner. This is where Jamo made a mistake last time. Let's hope he gets it right this time. Into the corner. Oh, he's gone wide. Jinxed him. Jamo goes wide. Commentator's curse. Goes wide onto the gravel. And Bidzster goes through. Bidzster's now free to chase Callum with all his might. But that car is too heavy on fuel. I don't think he's going to do it. But there's Jamo in third, TY in fourth again, but still had to do 2 stops. Not really the best race for TY in this one. Meanwhile, seat 1 there in the Porsche. He's about to get lapped by Callum as well, so again, and more traffic for Callum, but this actually could help him with the fuel saving because he's going to catch him on the straight. So this could help Callum out here. We'll have to see. As Bidzster pushing, close to that wall. Jamo probably livid with himself about that mistake. Could have been in for a second place or even a first. We'll have to see. But Callum gets past seat 1 there, so Callum now saving fuel on that straight. Bidzster not saving any. Use it all. As he goes up behind seat 1. Uses all the draft. Seat 1 with the right indicator going to say if you want to go that way, go for it. As he does, Bidzster uses all the draft he can, 200 miles an hour compared to 180. That's the difference between saving fuel and burning it. Bidzster then pushes hard into the hairpin. Can't quite get close enough to Callum yet. Callum's just got to get up the hill. He might just do it on fuel. He's going to be very close though. He should be able to do it from here. He should be able to push the car home once he gets down the descent. Callum. Bidzster closes up. Jamo passes seat 1 now. TY's got Rodders in the way. As Callum comes through. Up and over the hill, he should be able to do it now. Just about, he's going to be running just about on vapour as he gets to the line. Bidzster pushing. But it's not going to be enough, I don't think, unless Callum runs out now. But I don't think he's going to. Callum Paul Banks wins race 1 of the special event. Double points to him. Victory for Callum. Brilliant race. Bidzster close, but if he would have put a bit less fuel in, he might have got him. Jamo unlucky in that one. He could have got Callum as well if he didn't make that mistake. So Jamo in third, TY in 4th place there. TY comes home in 4th. Task 1 in 5th. Neil's going to be 6th. Seat 1's already crossed the line. The winner of the GT. Well done to Seat 1. Dominant GT victory again as usual. Rodders 2nd in class in GT. Well done to Rodders. Techno's going to be in 3rd place in class. So Task 1 comes across the line in 5th in the LMP 1. And then 6th for Neil Farmack after a bit of a disappointing race for him. So, and then it's Seat 1, the winner of GTE. Rodders 2nd in GT. 3rd in GTE is going to be Techno. Whoa, he makes a mistake on the last lap though. Makes a mistake. Oh, Stacker's gone round. Firepower's closing up on him. Stacker's gone round. It's not letting him turn round. He can't get turned round. He should have just let the AI turn the car around for him there. So Techno comes across the line in 3rd in class. Stacker's going to get going here. Firepower's past him. Last lap dash. Up the hill. Stacker goes up the inside, desperate to make a move here because of that mistake. Stacker up the inside of Firepower. Close, no contact. Down to the last corner. It's not over yet. Battle for 4th in class. You think they were battling for the win? Firepower gets through on the inside, and then Power from Stacker behind. But it's going to be Firepower just on the line from Stacker. That's the order that they crossed the line in. So Firepower takes it from Stacker there. Just trying not to cross the line with the replay. There we go. So Firepower takes 10th from Stacker in 11th. So we'll just get those results confirmed for you now, guys. Okay guys, here's the results from that end. So Callum takes victory in that one. Very close finish in front of Bidzster, who finishes 2nd. Jamo gets a well-deserved 4th in that. TY falls down to 4th place, and then it's Task 1 in 5th. And then Neil finishes in 6th in Division 1. Then in Division 2, it is Seek 1 who takes the victory there. Well done to him. 2nd place for Rodders. 3rd place for Techno on the podium. Well done to him. And then Firepower in 10th overall and 4th in class. And then 5th place in class for Stacker, 11th overall. Fastest lap to TY, a 2:54.4. So as we come back from that then, Seek 1, there is your winner in the Pink Pig in the GTE class, and then in the LMP 1 class for Division 1 it is Callum Paul Banks who wins that race. Well done to Callum, where we can see his car. There he is in the Audi. So we'll see you guys next time for race 2. Take care guys.